I went to an all black church, and I was the lightest person I was the lightest person in the entire congregation. Really? I stood out like a sore thumb, but it's just because my dad is like white and native, and my mom's black, so I just looked different. So I was very easy to say, for them to say, "Oh, you're not like us," you know,
at a church.
Yeah.
That's very odd. That's not very Christ-like.
Yeah. I mean, it got very bad, and they started bullying, and then they started hitting me.
They hit you?
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Punched you in the face?
Yeah.
They were mad because you had nice straight hair. That's why. They were mad. It's like, look, we got to pay for this shit. Your fucking
It was really bad. Like it was such like a traumatizing event for me. I'm gonna tell you this story. I feel like I shouldn't even.
I'll just go ahead.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna tell. Okay. So, damn. What if I start crying, David?
And if you cry, yo, everybody cries on this goddamn podcast.
No, I'm not. Look, Oprah, stop. David's like, just wait until he strikes me. Okay. So it's gonna seem really silly, but like basically, I was going through months of mental and physical abuse by like the same like group of girls.
Yeah.
Like just the same group of girls, and for literally no reason other than probably that I was light skinned and my mom's an author, so like I'm like fairly like well spoken, you know? And I was just different. And so like one day I was forced to go to this sleepover at the church. It was like a lock-in, and I didn't want to go because I didn't have any friends. And I kept telling my parent, like my mom and my grandma, like, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. Don't make me go. Please don't make me go. They made me go anyways. And it was, nobody talked to me the whole night. I was basically by myself. And then at one point I saw some boys playing video games. And I'd been playing video games because I was a really lonely kid. So I walked over and I went to play video games with them. And I guess some of the girls had a crush on some of the boys, and they didn't like that I went over and talked to them. In their eyes, they're like, oh, look at this fucking slut. But I'm like 10. You know, I'm not even 10. I'm like 7, you know, but it's just, you guys are playing video games. I play that game at home. I want to play with you. So I start playing with the boys, and I'm pretty good at this game.
You slut.
Exactly. They're like, you fucking slut. This gets fucking weird, right? And I'm also telling you why I'm not religious.
Yeah.
So we go, like everyone, like I play video games with them. I don't remember that much. I was really young. And then we all go to bed. We have these like sleeping things or whatever.
Yep.
And then like I wake up at like early in the morning and it's dark. Everybody's asleep. And I have this stuff like all over me. And I touch it and I thought that it was blood. And like I'm like 7, you know? And I really thought that it was blood, and so I scream. I just, like, scream because I feel this stuff. I don't know what it is. I'm, like, scared and anxious. They flip on the lights, and these bitches had just put ketchup and mustard all over me. They covered my entire body with ketchup and mustard. Yeah, like, while I was sleeping. They'd, like everywhere. And so like I'm embarrassed because I had just woken up everyone in the room. It was a huge room. I'm embarrassed. This woman had to like clean me up, and like I'm like why did they do this? Why did they do this? But then like I just get like angry after that. Like I went fucking cold. Like I shut down as a kid. Like I've been dealing with like physical abuse. Like I was getting beat up. I was getting fucking like yelled at. I was getting spit on by these girls that I didn't know. And then this was just like it. Like this was last straw.
They're going to hell.
So this is like where it gets weirder. This is where it gets even weirder, David. I can't believe I'm telling this story. I'm
like shocked.
This is like very personal to me.
Yeah.
So. This was a really traumatizing event for me as a kid because I'm also okay with telling this because as minuscule as it seems, I think it's important to remind yourself of trauma and things that are a shock to your system, you know, because this really was, because I felt betrayed by, you know, my grandparents and my mom that had made me go when I begged not to go. I did not want to go back to this place. I was fed up at this point. I was embarrassed. I was hurt, like everything. And like, I went cold as like a 7 or 8 year old child. Like I was fucking done.
Yeah.
But, so that happened on like a Friday or Saturday night, and my mom had to come pick me up, and like I could tell that she was like really destroyed because she wanted to make her mom happy, and my grandma was very religious, so my mom felt like I had to go to this church. I had to be a Christian, and my mom felt hurt because she was like, I can't believe I fucking let my child go, like after, you know, I had been seeing her come home like upset from children's church every day. And so it was just kind of, it was like, fuck. And so my mom like calls like the pastor and is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
what the fuck happened? Were you guys watching?
In the name of Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Excuse me, sorry, in the name of Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah.
You know? And so like, this is like a big deal. And like people in the church are talking about it and shit too. They're like, that's Brother Percy's kid. Yeah. That's, you know, so there's like murmurs and shit like that. And then
with my prayers.
So we go to church on Sunday. This is where it gets fucking weird. So we go to church on Sunday, and it's a black church. You know, any black folks out there, y'all ever been to a black church? You know, this shit's like 2 hours. So at the end of the sermon, in front of the entire congregation, which is like 200 people, the pastor calls up the 3 girls that did this to me and asks them to come to the front of the church.
Oh, shit.
Calls them by name and tells them to come up. And he takes this fucking water and he goes, I curse you and your families. I'm not fucking kidding, David. He's like, your eyes just went like, what the fuck? To these like girls.
I didn't know pastors had that power.
He tells him, he's like, I curse you and your families. This sounds like it's out of a fucking movie. I swear on God this happened. I don't know if this guy thought that doing this would
make you feel better.
Yeah, or my family feel better. But instead, it was shaming the 3 girls and all of their families who were in the congregation. And keep in mind, it's not just mom and dad going. It's mom, dad, brother, sister, aunt, uncle. So 3 girls, let's just multiply that by 5, 15 people in the congregation. They've got friends of friends. To me as a child, I felt like everyone in that congregation fucking hated me for being such a little bitch, you know? Like, and that was it. That was the end of the sermon. He did that and he dismissed everybody, you know? And I still had to go to that church for a few years.
Damn, what was that like after?
Damn, dude, that fucked me up. Like, it was, and you know what the fucked up thing is? I don't remember. I was done. I was completely done with the world after that, you know? And I mean, like, and that wasn't the only, like, unfortunate thing happened in my life. You know, like, there's like a few just, like, small things that basically the world told me very early on, before I was even 10 years old, that nobody wants you here.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I was told. And I saw the world through a lens of that, you know?
Yeah.
And it was really rough. And, like, to be fair, man, I really can't tell you because I don't remember. I just blocked it out. You know, and it took me a long time to claim my Sundays back. Yeah. Which I'm like super happy to say I have them back now. For years, I hated Christmas and I hated Sundays.
You hated Christmas? You hated Santa Claus?
I did. I hated it all, man.
Santa Claus ain't even Jesus. That's just a white dude with a beard.
I was done. I was because it just meant going back. And so like I would like as a kid, I would like, you know, people Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday like was like cool, and then Saturday would hit and I knew Sunday was coming and I had to go back to the church. So for like years and years and years, I was shut off to that, you know? And you know, another thing is, and like my mom's probably gonna listen to this shit. We've talked about it. Like I don't really care. Another thing is that like it's kind of that thing we talked about again with the bubble. My mom never went through a depressed phase, like a hating yourself phase. So she didn't know how deep my pain went with this stuff.
She couldn't empathize with it.
She didn't understand, you know? And like, it was like a big deal for us, like later on in life to like come back and be like, you know, like I forgive you and I didn't understand, you know? Yeah. It was really big, but I got my Sundays back. I respect Christianity now. I can't have y'all crazies running around, but yeah, that's, you know.
You know, a lot of people do have like these very traumatizing experiences like at church, and it's kind of sad because even for me too, like I've had those experiences, right? Yeah. And like I had to figure out for myself, it's like, well, man, like I remember there was this I don't know. Maybe it's because I think everything's funny.
David,
maybe
you can cry.
Well, I ain't gonna cry. This is hilarious.
David, you can cry.
I just want to tell you. No, but this shit was fucking crazy, man. So I used to flip between 2 different churches. Well, 3 different churches because my friends went there. So every now and then I would ask my mom, can I spend the night on Saturday at their house so I can go to church with them? And my mom's like, oh, cool. But there was this one church that I really liked going to because I thought it was such a fucked up church because some shit would always happen. And so one Sunday, this dude. So these 2 brothers known to be hyper temperamental. You're talking about the stereotypical Korean angry dudes. These 2 dudes were fucking angry. They were